people. I'm unproblematic. I don't be on the internet. I don't talk shit. I don't fuck with people. You never see me saying shit. I be in my own world. Get the fuck off my dick.
Hi guys, if you're new here, my name is Shakeria Deangela. If you're not new here, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today's YouTube video is going to be semi-personal. It's going to be me talking about how I just feel like people has been playing with me a lot. And I know y'all probably thinking, Shakeria, where did they just come from? What makes you feel this type of way, y'all? Before we even get into the story time of what happened to me, let me just give out a real disclaimer. I am a real sweetheart. Do not let these story times fool y'all. I am the sweetest person, and anybody that knows me in real life knows that I am genuinely a sweetheart. Just do not piss me off. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. Other than that, baby, we can rock and we can roll out. But I really feel like people has been taking it as a weakness or trying to take that for granted. And another thing too, leading up to the story time, I don't disrespect adults. I try my hardest to respect everybody. If you give me respect, I give you respect. That's exactly how we roll over here in Shakeria mind and Shakeria head. I can't speak for nobody else, but I think about my parents. I think about my granny, my mother, my dad, my sister. I think about them when I see kids going back and forth with adults. Now, I didn't give that disclaimer. Let me get all the questions out the way. I know y'all probably thinking, y'all see me with this shirt on. Yes, y'all have. Yes, I have on a scarf. I'm letting my edges do the thing. Yes, I took the wig off. Let's get to the story time. This story time is going to be on how a substitute teacher tried me. And this happened Friday. It is now Sunday. If you watched my prep or my get ready with me, I had basically told y'all that people was telling me, well, Shakeria, if you did not take art 9th and 10th grade year, it's a 9 times out of 10 chance that you're gonna have to take her 11th and 12th grade year. When I was on the phone, people who know what's going on at the school and like know what they're building and stuff like that, they were saying how if you did not take art last year or freshman year, sophomore year, 9 times out of 10 gonna have to take her your junior and senior year. I can't draw. Take that information and do whatever you want to do with it. And I don't really know how I was gonna do that at the time because I don't know how to draw. Now, fast forward, y'all. We is only in the 3rd going into the 4th week of school. I let her know that. I say, I can't really draw. She was like, baby, as long as you try, that's all that matters to me. And that was surprising because the things that I have heard about this art teacher, y'all, don't nobody really like her like that. So I really wasn't expecting her to tell me that. But Friday, unfortunately, she wasn't there. And we had been working on these name tags, y'all. And she wanted us to write them in like graffiti type of style, bubble letter type of styles. And I had been messing up so bad, y'all. Like that was like my 2nd or 3rd time doing the paper. I can't draw. So with that being said, in her class, I take baby steps on how to do certain stuff. I know that may sound terrible, but I'm not just gonna jump straight into something and I know I don't know what I'm doing. No, that's like me setting myself up for failure. So walking in the art class, my main priority was basically the name tag because no shade, y'all, I gotta get that done. But I'm in my head like we may have some type of work, which we did. We had a sheet of paper and we had the name tag thing to do. So as we walked in the classroom, y'all, it was just so many instant red flags right then and there. And we had a sub. We have assigned seats. Yes, we have assigned seats in our class. And I know y'all probably thinking, why do you? That's a whole different story within itself. That'll be a whole different video. Why we have assigned seats. But this girl, she had told this boy he couldn't really speak English like this, so he didn't really understand. But she was telling him like, you can't sit right here. We got assigned seats. And the sub, she looks and she says, you can't tell nobody where to sit. And it was like her tone. And I'm in my head like, well, technically, she can tell him where to sit because we have assigned seats. But once I looked around, it was a lot of people that was not sitting in their assigned seats. I ain't really just do too much about it. At the end of the day, she grown. She can say whatever she want to say. Hey, that's how I was viewing it. That's how I was thinking. So I ain't really just do too much about it. Now, this boy, he walked in late. Mind you, this is the same seat that another individual was finna sit in. That was his seat. He came in late, and y'all, she snatched the little tardy slip out his hand. And I'm like, am I tripping, or did she just snatch it out of his hand? And these two people that were sitting on the side of me, they're in a relationship. The girlfriend says, nah, baby, your eyes ain't deceiving you. She definitely just snatched that out of his hand. And I'm like, oh my God, Yeah, so she ain't really did too much to me, so I'm not really thinking too much of it, y'all. And that be my problem. I don't really be thinking too much of stuff until after it happened. So when she started calling the roll, I'm helping her. I'm telling her who not here. I'm telling her who done got expelled already. I'm just letting her know who not coming back on the roster. Cause again, I'm not really thinking too much of it. So after that, she ended up passing out papers, and the first thing that I had did was write my name, the date, and the period. Simple stuff that you do when you get a piece of paper, right? And my friend that was sitting on the side of me, my homegirl, she had already just jumped straight into it. Me personally, like I just said, I'm not finna jump straight into nothing, and I know for a fact I don't know what I'm doing. But it really wasn't the first section that I had a semi struggle with. It was the drawing part, and I was like flipping the paper back and forth, just trying to see whether or not we had to do more drawing stuff, because I'm finna take my time. I'm in art class. I don't know what I'm doing. I hate to say it, y'all, when it comes to stuff that I know I can't do, I'm gonna take my time, unless it's just a million people watching me. But other than that, I'm gonna take my time. So when she passed the paper out, I was still analyzing my paper, and she came over to where I was at, and when she came over, I was like dancing with her, but I still was looking down at my paper, analyzing my paper. I had been singing a song because they had been playing music. We had just came from lunch. They had been playing music in the lunchroom, and the song was stuck in my head. I had been singing it when I first walked in, and then when I sat down, I had sung it again. So she started dancing with me. She like, put the pencil in your hand. And I'm like, okay. I end up laughing it off. I end up looking back at it or whatever, and my homegirl that sat on the side of me, she ended up looking at me, and she's basically like, she looked at me, and we just looking at each other, and she like, was that really necessary? After that, I still was analyzing my paper with her, because I ain't gonna lie, I kind of got trapped up in my thoughts. Like, she ended up coming over there again. She said something about me doing my work, and I had told her, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna get it done or whatever. She was like, well, I'm just saying, you know, you see what she doing, you see how she almost done. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it. But I'm in my head like, me and her two different people. But I didn't say that. I'm still keeping it calm, I'm still keeping it cool and respectful. So then when she did that, the boy on the side of me, he said, I ain't gonna lie, I would have went off on her. I would have went off on her. You need to go off on her, cause all that when it calls for, she a sub. All that when it calls for, when she did that, my homegirl, she just started looking at her up and down, like she just started analyzing what she had on. And let me tell y'all what she had on. She had on a button long sleeve shirt, no bra. We could see everything. And she had on some leggings, but they was loose at the bottom. I think she had on some slides. And you a substitute teacher. Okay, cool. After that, I started flipping the paper over again, because I'm analyzing paper. The more I just started thinking about it, I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I did kind of get sidetracked or whatever, because it just felt like she was trying to rush me, and you're not a teacher. So I just started like looking at my hands, playing with my hands, whatever. She had been looking at me the whole time, y'all. Like, this lady was eyeing me down. Like, this lady was just looking at me. So I knew she was looking at me, and that was making me feel a type of way. So now I'm in my head like, I'm finna do it, but like, you throwing me off. Like, you really throwing me off. So me and this boy, we start having a completely different conversation about something, and she said, if you got something to say, you can say it out loud. And I said, Or maybe she thought we was talking about her, because I had mentioned prior to that, if I wasn't going to do the work, you know, I wouldn't put my name on it. And I told her that, I said, baby, I ain't even say baby, I said, what I said was, if I wasn't going to do the work, I would never put my name or anything on the paper. If I wasn't going to do it. So after that, me and him started having a completely different conversation. And then she pulls the chair, and she sits in front of me, y'all, like she was trying to intimidate me. She pulls the chair, and she says, well, since they just made you so mad and you so upset about it, what's going on? Because all I asked was for you to do your work. And I had said, I come in here and do the same thing every day, and I still get my work done. She said, well, I'm just saying, I don't want nobody to come up in here and see you not doing your work, and they say something to me. I said, you must be a new sub or something, because anybody that's been here knows that you're a substitute, you're not a teacher. So they're not finna say anything to you about somebody not doing their work. And then it don't even be nobody in the hallway for you to even feel that type of way. She was like, well, I'm just saying, I don't care. And yes, I am a new sub. I'm just saying. I'm like, okay. So when she started doing all that, like, I basically started laughing in her face because ain't nobody finna say nothing to you. I told her nobody was finna say anything to you. But I'm still respectful. I'm still keeping it respectful. So I started laughing. And I think that's what really made her mad was when I started laughing. She like, I could do this all day. I'm bored. I ain't got nothing to do. Okay. She started saying, I'm sorry, I'm a cheer coach, and it's just I've been dealing with kids since I was a kid. What you want, a cookie? What are you telling me for? I'm still looking at her like,
Oogly moogly, bitch.
everybody, they looking back at me because they like, what type of shit? Y'all, everybody was just looking at her like, what is you on? Like, what's going on? Mind y'all, I'm still cool, calm, and collect. Like, I still ain't said nothing. I still ain't even did what any other child would do. You see what I'm saying? So she get up or whatever. And I just start looking at my paper again. And I'm in my head like, let me just go ahead and do this paper. But then once time started passing, I ended up telling my homegirl, I said, I'm gonna do it in 125. Because like I just said, now it's giving you trying to rush me into doing some work. And I'm like, 125, get here, I'm gonna do it. I end up doing it, and I believe she came over there again, and she said something to the girlfriend of the boy, and she was semi trying to rush her too, but the girl said she had like an attitude. She was like, I'm gonna do it. She did just like that, and she didn't really just say too much to her. Mind you, the answers is semi where I'm having my hands at. The answers is right there, so everybody is looking at the back, and I had looked back there a few times too. You analyzing me, you seeing what I'm doing, you seen me look back there. So I'm like, now I'm finna do it when I feel like it, no shade, y'all, because I just felt really like she tried to intimidate me right there, and can't nobody intimidate me. I had said that 125, get here, I started doing the work, and my homegirl was like, it's definitely given, she just tried to intimidate you. And I said, and can't. And I started doing the work, and then it hit me like, what you mean you been dealing with kids since you was a kid? What you mean? Like, man, I said, I ought to ball this paper up, and I ain't gonna lie, y'all, I balled this shit up. I ain't even finna sit up here and hold y'all. I started working on my name tag. Call it disrespectful, call it what you want. But I just feel like as a substitute teacher, you just did too much right then and there. After I had told you the first 2 times you came over there, I told you I was going to do my work. It wasn't no problem with me doing work. I did not make it a problem. So I'm like, okay, cool. I start doing my name tag or whatever. And that's when I end up asking this girl, I'm like, did you do your name tag? Because she know how to draw. I said, did you do your name tag? Because I need to do something to mine because I didn't messed up a couple times. She started laughing. I said, can you please help me with my name tag? So she come over there, and that's when we start having a completely different conversation. But like I said, she was still analyzing me, still watching what I was doing, and everybody was pretty much telling me to go off on her. Like, them folks was telling me, like, Shakeria, you should have went off on that, you should have went off on that. And I'm steady telling them folks, like, no, she an adult, no, I ain't finna do it. That's really why I stayed quiet majority of the time. But we end up having a conversation. She ended up asking me what happened, and I end up telling her, like, basically she just came over here, she just said something to me. So I guess she heard me, and she cut me off, y'all. And I'm not even gonna sit up here and hold you. I just been going through so much within these past 2 to 3 weeks, y'all. I snapped, and she cut me off, and she said, and I quote, I didn't just say something to you. I said, yes, you did. And I ain't gonna lie, y'all, start getting real potty at the mouth. I said, yes, you did just come over here and say something to me. I've been told you I was gonna do my work. Don't keep talking to me about no work. Y'all just started tweaking. And I said, I wasn't finna argue with nobody grown. She was like, okay. I said, like I said, stop, don't keep saying that to me about, like, y'all, I just started going ballistic in the classroom.
Whatever one of you fuck niggas wanna see me, nigga, y'all know where the fuck I be at. Pussy ass, take it in the head, take it in the head. Fuck you, nigga, you mad.
So then she was like, well, if you don't like you go. I said, I'd gladly walk out there. Glad. I said, just like that, I picked my stuff up, and I asked everybody before I walked out. I said, am I wrong? The whole class, y'all. The whole class said, no, you was not wrong. The whole class. Mind y'all, I ain't never got into it with no teacher. I've been at this school for 3 years. Never had no type of situation with this, no teacher. No teacher, period. And if I did have a situation, I didn't do nothing about it. Literally, I stayed quiet because I know at the end of the day I'm a child. So I must have walked out. The security guard, he's sitting right there, and I end up basically telling him like that sub in there, she tweaking. Like, it's something wrong. He like, what's going on? I end up telling him the full story. He start shaking his head. He like, see, no. See, I understand some kids is bad. I understand some kids do too much. But I know it's some kids up here that don't bother nobody. And you one of them. I rest my case. So then that's when he like, let me go get the assistant principal. She just so happened to be next door. He get her. And I end up telling her what had happened, and I ain't gonna lie, I got so mad because I low-key felt like I didn't do enough. But at the same time too, it's like an angel telling me, Shakira, you did right. You didn't even do too much, but she grown. She grown. It just was something constantly telling me in my ear, like, she grown, leave it alone, she grown. But then you got the devil on my shoulder telling me, walk back up in there. But I'm not finna do that. But she was like, okay. And she ended up telling, she like, Shakeria, you know, I know you don't do nothing about it. I know you don't bother nobody. And I'm like, yes, that's what's really making me angry. So they like, well, you just sit outside. You just, you know, you just mind your business, you know. And before I had walked out, I asked this girl, I said, am I wrong? She was like, I don't even know what happened. That same girl ended up coming outside, and she basically ended up asking me what happened. I tell her the whole story. Oh, she said, girl, you better than me. You better than me. And I told her, like, I'm a real sweetheart. That didn't make my image look good at all. And she was like, yeah, you really do seem like a sweetheart. And I was like, I'm cool. I'm really a cool being, bro. She was like, nah, baby, you did better than what I would have did. That's basically what she told me. So then after that, my physical education teacher, I love him, he ended up coming over there where I was at, and I said, have you ever seen me go back and forth with a dog? He liked to crack jokes. He was like, yup, you crack jokes with your beautician about your forehead. He was just cracking jokes with him, and he was like, in all seriousness, no, I never seen you argue with a dog. What happened? He ended up getting a phone call, so he told me, hold on. I ended up basically giving him parts of the story because he had a phone call. And he was like, you ain't even got to tell me the rest. I already know what happened. He said the problem is they don't do background checks on these substitute teachers before they bring them here. And what they think is they finna come over here acting like they running somewhere. They think they finna come over here talking crazy to other people's kids. And then when these kids say something back, they wrong. That's not how that's finna work. And the police officer, the security guard, he was like, yo, you not lying. You not lying. And I had told, like, the security guard, I was like, I really don't know if I want to tell my mama or not, because I know my mama, she gonna take it there. She gonna take it to the extreme. And he was like, no, please don't call your mom. Don't call your mom. Please don't call your mom. Don't, please don't do that. Because you not in trouble, and it's really not that serious. Because after this, she 9 times out of 10 may not even come back. Like, after this, you probably would never see her ever again. So it don't even matter. And then my coach, he was like, nah, I feel like you should tell your mom, because at the end of the day, you her child. You got to come to school every day. You see what I'm saying? And it really just hit me because, bruh, I feel like I really just snapped like that because I'm already dealing with a lot. I'm already dealing with so much, and then I got to come to school and have a substitute, not even a real teacher. And the way they talk about our actual teacher, you would think that, you know, the real teacher would have pulled something like that. You would have thought, but you're a substitute teacher. I got to deal with subs feeling like they up here because they a cheer coach at another team. I don't care where you a cheer coach at, baby. You really lucky I'm not nobody else's child, because anybody else's child would have talked to you crazy. And like I said, I really feel like I didn't do enough, but I'm constantly telling myself she grown. But when he said that, I'm like, He was like, you know her name, don't it? Yes, I do know her name. He was like, you know where she worked for, Kelly Education. And I said, oh. He was like, see, you already know. Do you already know? Tell your mama, go ahead and do. But I'm in my head like, I don't know, because like I said, I know what my mama would do. And I really don't, still have yet to tell my mama. Anyway, after he do that, he was like, some folks just stupid. He told me that, yes, my physical education teacher, I'm telling y'all exactly like how he told me. He said, some people are just stupid. Some people are just foolish. And after that, my other principal, he came down there and he asked me, he was like, what's going on? What's going on? And I had told him, I really don't want to cry because I'm really upset. Because like I keep saying, y'all, I really felt like I didn't do enough. But she grown. So then after that, he was like, well, I applaud you for not going too far. I applaud you for just simply leaving the room. I applaud you. And I said, I really feel like I want to tell my mama. And he said, no, you don't, please don't do that. It's not that serious. You're not in trouble. And she 9 times out of 10 won't come back. She 9 times out of 10 will not be hurt ever again. So you don't have nothing to worry about. We'll get it handled. We're going to get it finished after today. And I just feel like I'm constantly getting tried. I'm constantly getting played with. Once he told me that, I kind of felt, I don't want to say relieved, but I just kind of felt in a sense of I'm equal. We equal now, if that makes sense. And once we got into next period, because I took next period with the same people that was up in the classroom, and they started telling me, I was like, Shakeria, when you went off on her, she was trying to act like she didn't know why you had went off on her like that. And that's another thing too. People think it's cool to constantly pick and provoke Shakeria, and then when Shakeria start acting like she having a manic episode, or Shakeria start acting like she going crazy, everybody want to look at me, act like I'm crazy, act like they don't know what's going on after you just provoked me. And that's another thing too. I hate when people provoke me and then play crazy afterwards, or I hate when it's obvious that something is going on and people try to play stupid or act oblivious as to what's going on. So when she said that, I said, I ain't even finna sit up here and hold you. I want to tell my mom so bad, but I ain't even gonna do it, because like I said, I in a sense felt equal. But y'all, once again, like I said, I am truly a sweetheart. I'm a real individual, y'all. In real life, y'all, I'm the life of the party, y'all. I be making everybody laugh. No shade. Like, somebody told me the other day, baby, you got a smile that can light up the room. No, I light up the room with my personality in general, but I try not to let stuff like this bother me. But like I said, I suffer from anxiety. I overthink, and it ended up affecting me in the long run. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys learned from this video as well. And comment and subscribe. And I've been dealing with school, and I've been dealing with a lot in general, so I may be slacking on the post. But I love everybody that has been so positive to me. And y'all been finding me from TikTok. Y'all been just watching me from different videos. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much, and I really appreciate y'all. And bye, y'all.
Whatever one of you fuck niggas wanna see me, nigga, y'all know where the fuck I be at.